Even better.
And I'm muted, so it's just a disaster the whole way around. My apologies, everyone, for catching me mid-yawn. I was expecting the long version of the trailer, and then it was the short version of the trailer, and now we're back. All right, well, we've all enjoyed a laugh at my expense. I'll tell you what, that game... Did we enjoy that game, Spawn? That was a bit of a back-and-forth bloodbath.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you like, right? If you like teams rolling around in the mud, getting down and dirty, like team fighting a lot, posturing for objectives, like that was definitely your kind of game. If you like top laners that have more CS than your jungler, then that definitely wasn't your kind of game. And I personally like when my top laner has more CS than my jungle Sejuani. That's all I'm saying. There was a point in that game where junglers and top laners were same levels. Not even just same CS, just outright same levels. No one was farming. There was not a skerrick of macro to be seen. It was just a big old fight. And I think if any team in the comp tries to just big old fight Chiefs, the Chiefs are probably going to win. So congratulations to the Chiefs because they finally did get that one decisive moment. It was kind of like the game before where I was saying... Actually, no, I was saying about Order and Mammoth, I think. It's like, you know, whenever Chiefs want to fight, it was decisive. Whenever Direwolves want to fight, it was like Chiefs had the option to be able to disengage with like 3 or 4 people alive and still be able to poke around and contest objectives. And I think that's just Direwolves playing into the Chiefs' strengths. Chippy should be on a carry in that matchup, IMO.
There you go. Well, congratulations to Chiefs. And apologies for being muted, chat. Angie Foxtrot said it wouldn't be an OPL weekend without Nick being muted. I was actually muted. It's actually Spawn's fault because he and I were having a gossipy little chat.
Having a juicy set.
Anyone else to hear. And so I turned off all outbound communication and then just forgot to turn it on when we came back. All right, it's time to jump into the final seg for the evening. You know it, you love it. It's ANACONDA. For our new Portuguese fans, It's ANACONDA is the OPL game show where we have to guess what animal I am. There you go. That makes sense, doesn't it? I give you a couple of context clues. You need to guess what animal I am. And this version of It's ANACONDA, to celebrate the recent reveal of our forest friend Lilia, today It's ANACONDA is all about forest creatures and animals. Are we ready?
No.
Let's go.
Oh. Clue number 1. For animal number 1. And as always, it is not ANACONDA. I am a vegetarian carnivore.
So you're an omnivore.
I'm a vegetarian carnivore.
Okay.
There is... I'm not an omnivore. Carnivores are actually a biological order that includes groups like bears, dogs, and cats. And while these animals are generally carnivores, some are omnivores. Oh, you are so close.
Damn it.
You are so close. What? I mean, you're technically...
Close to a panda.
You're technically correct.
A bear. You're a bear.
I have a false thumb. Which is actually an abnormally enlarged wrist bone. I'm seeing baboon in chat, panda, koala, bear. My tail can be as long as my body, and I use it as a blankie.
What?
You're a snow leopard.
You're getting so much further away from where you are.
Well, is it a type of panda? Like, is that... Because I'm stuck
It's
now.
a red panda.
It is the red panda.
Oh.
Congratulations, Spawn. The final clue, there is an internet browser named after me.
Is it red panda?
Mozilla's flagship browser Firefox means red panda.
Oh, there we go.
True.
Initially, they wanted to call the browser Firebird, but found that another open source project was using that name. So they went with Firefox, and for some reason that means red panda.
That's crazy.
There you go.
There you go.
Chat did get it, but chat also Googled it. So well done, chat. Number 2. We'll continue down the list. I track the heat of my prey. I am also considered an aquatic creature.
Snake?
Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Technically correct again.
What?
We're just going to have to pick which snake.
Oh, God.
I've never eaten a person, but someone once tried to make me eat them.
It's a python, like a killer python or something. Or is it a boa constrictor?
I'm just.
Contrary to popular belief, I do not suffocate my prey.
Boa constrictor.
So it's a non
No.
venomous.
Unclear about my venomosity, which you would think that I would know that, it being me, but I don't. I can be as long as a bus and weigh as much as
to be an
11
anaconda.
school children, which I would also definitely eat.
It has to be an anaconda.
I am an anaconda.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
huge.
gonna say you just have a huge snake.
Congratulations. Congratulations. That's one apiece. Anaconda.
Wow,
So,
there it is.
in 2014, the Discovery Channel put on a program called Eaten Alive, which was about a man who tried to get himself eaten by a green anaconda. The experiment was to test a snake-proof suit that was supposed to stand up to bites and also the constrictive power of the snake. And then it immediately, the experiment went south because the anaconda did not want to eat Paul and instead tried to flee. After several attempts to bait the anaconda into eating him, such as dousing himself in pig's blood, he had to resort to provoking the anaconda. This didn't go well as it wrapped itself around his arm, almost breaking it.
Wow.
Ultimately, the team had to help get the snake off him, and the experiment was abandoned.
People
Yeah,
are so
good.
crazy, Nick.
Stop.
They're so crazy. Like, just stay
Why?
home, mate.
Yeah, why?
Why would you do that?
Well, technically, you have to do it if your TV show is called Eaten Alive.
No, well, then just don't create
contractually,
that-
you are obligated.
The guy was so
create that TV
desperate
show.
to become viral, he nearly died for it.
Yeah, they should have called the TV show like "Staying at Home Eating Pies."
Correct.
All right, moving
that.
on down the list. Animal number 3. My children avoid detection by not having a smell. Smellless children.
Okay.
Some trees have a defensive mechanism where they can detect my saliva and produce an excess amount of acid in order to become bitter and make me lose interest in
You're
consuming.
consuming the tree.
Yes, the tree.
That's crazy.
Rusty.
What?
I eat trees. Well, technically I eat bark off trees.
Okay.
In Yakushima, a Japanese island, my kind are groomed and provided with food by macaw monkeys. Macaw? Macaque? Macaque?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Monkeys. They, in turn, let the monkeys ride on their backs to move from one place
What
to another.
on
Sorry,
earth
I,
is
in turn.
this?
Whatever these are, I'm liking it more and more.
They're cool.
I bounce around with a monkey on my back. Final clue. Every year, a part of my body falls off and regrows.
I have no idea, Nick.
No idea?
Not a clue, mate.
Anyone? Anyone?
No.
Anyone?
I'm
The
lost.
correct answer, I am a deer.
Deer.
Isn't that weird?
How?
All of that is so weird.
They eat bark. And monkeys
eat
ride
bark.
them, and
They're
they
crazy.
lose limbs.
Yeah.
This is straight out of a
deers.
movie. It's like the Animal Book.
Yeah. Little known fact about deer, they're actually just monkey horses. All right.
They're just
Animal
a
number
taxi
4.
service, mate.
Animal number 4. Oh, whoops, sorry. Camera gone. I got you. You can still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but your camera's
Animal
gone.
number 4. This is called
It
dramatic
paused at
tension.
such a good time.
It's just dramatic tension.
Oh, Nixon Beta. He's coming back
Become
soon.
text.
We'll patch him back in.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Callum's going to be so angry at me.
That's not EPOS.
Oh, there he is.
Ta-da.
How good's
doing
the
it live
camera,
there.
by the way, on this?
That was insane.
How pretty is his camera?
Okay. Animal number 4. My name means he who kills with one leap.
Jumping spider as a scientific name.
I like it. Number 2. Unlike others of my species, I love swimming. What animal hates swimming?
Cats.
Interesting. My jaw is so strong that its bite can crack the shell of a sea turtle. It can also pierce a skull.
I'm thinking it's like a large cat, like a panther, jaguar, something along those lines.
We're seeing kangaroo.
Jaguar is...
Oh.
It has to be a big cat, right? It sounds like a big
Spawn,
cat.
is that a guess or you're just
No,
because
that
you
is-
tentatively said something?
That is the answer.
That is the answer, correct.
Oh, there it is.
The correct answer is the Jaguar, but the final clue, Argentina's national rugby team badge includes an image of me. However, a historical error resulted in the team being nicknamed to this day Los Pumas, the Pumas. Okay, final one.
Give me one
We'll
more.
get it
Yeah,
in
I
before
really
game
want
one.
another one. This is actually a great segment. This is better
It is.
than any of your other segments.
Thank you very much. At its height, my horn was worth literally 10 times my weight in gold.
Rhinoceros?
Rhino.
Rhinos, yeah.
No, not the rhino.
Oh, elephant.
No.
No, they have tusks.
Hippo?
I am
They
thought
don't
to
have
hold
horns
the
as well.
power to divine truth and will pierce the heart of a liar with my horn.
Unicorn.
I am the unicorn. Congratulations.
No worries.
The most beloved
got
of the
a
woodland
gold
creatures.
value.
What is that?
Final facts about...
Wish that was me.
Final facts about me, the unicorn. To hunt me, you must obtain a license from Lake Superior State University in Michigan. Once you get your license, you can hunt for life and hunt anywhere. That is true. I don't need to eat at all. I absorb my energy from the sun, probably through my horn. And finally, a male subset of the human species are big fans of mine. All right, it's time to get into the final game for the day. Shout out
It's
to all the
ridiculous.
bronies out there. It's pentanet.gg versus Gravitas, rounding out the evening. Rusty, how are we feeling about PGG versus GRV?
I'm feeling like it's going to go a particular type of way, Nick. I'm really looking at Gravitas to see what improvements they can make week on week. I don't remember off the top of my head which top laner is starting, but I want to see more Quaku as well. The big one for me.
Quaku started in the OCS last night, so...
Yeah,
It's gonna be
Quaku's not
nobody.
done today.
Since they've started with nobody, they're yet to take a turret. They've taken 2 turrets, sorry, and he's gone 0-15. So there we go. That's all I have to say about that. Shout out
There
to
you go.
Snowball Esports.
Okay, shout out to Snowball Esports. All right, let's get into game number 4 for the evening. Pentanet.gg versus Gravitas, and it is coming up after the Macca's Champ Select.
Try and save out this turret. You can see as soon as that one falls down, they just have free access to, once again, go into the jungle area. I think he's going to miss.
Both supports flexing their might, looking who can be the better engaged. That's a one-back combo onto free. That is disgusting, and that is downright dirty. That's going to mean that Gunko picks up a triple as easy as can be. Appy just walks straight to their bank and says, I've baited and outsmarted every single one of you. That is an ace. That is flawless in its execution. Not a single death here for Avant. Even they are unsure as to what the play is. They can feel the anxiety swarming around them so close to the biggest upset weekend we've seen all year long. But that means that everybody from the Chiefs can come back to this fight. Now, Mboma doesn't have a flash. Will he have a stopwatch? I didn't get a chance to see as the score screen goes down and sole focus goes on towards the Elder. Now down to 50%.
Chungy on a flank, Liv on the flank.
Looking for that flank attempt. Can they try and make that action happen? That's going to be Chungy. That's going to be Liv. Everybody's going to get knocked up right now. The entire Chiefs team are up in the air. There's nothing they can do. Croc goes into the front line. They can't go for a smite steal. The team destroys them. They fall around. That's a flawless ace once again. Mboma the target. He survives on 10%. And once again, forget the Elder. Let's go for the win.
And they just use the objective to bait the fight. They take it cleanly. 5-0. Mammoth going to end the weekend 2-0.
But there you have it, some flawless plays from last week, and no doubt these teams will be looking to try and put up some stellar performances here to add into the mix of things. Gravitas bouncing in to look to try and showcase what they can do with nobody as their top laner for the meantime, looking for that victory, whereas Pentanet.gg looking to keep up the consistency, which has proved to be paying off quite well so far. They took down Legacy last week, they're looking strong again, and they're looking to appear to be that dark horse in the conversation as that last team to qualify for playoffs.
Yeah, they aren't, finding the utmost consistency yet, PGG. But if they are able to get themselves a 2-0 week this week, then they're well and truly not just in the running, but being a contender, right? So you're absolutely correct. This is a place that It's very exciting to be a Pentanet.gg fan amongst. When you're looking at the opposing side, however, here, there's a lot of questions that we have to highlight. One of them was the way that Gravitas and Mammoth, both teams drafted, was they just picked champions for themselves. It started to pay off a little bit more for Mammoth. Hasn't paid off yet for Gravitas. And this draft so far actually does go against that convention, right? They've picked themselves a much more standard, prototypical type of composition. They've got their Ashe Engage, high priority champion. They've got an Orianna, high priority mid laner. And they've gone for a Trundle, right? So they're picking a standard composition. We're a little bit less so, perhaps you would say, on the other side, with a second pick, Misfortune.
Yeah, bit of an interesting pick, given the fact that Misfortune has fallen out of favour for such a long time now. Immobile carries really getting punished, as you saw from that game on your screen just moments prior. Pentanet.gg showing respect where it's due, in part to Sumin as well as Praelis, by banning away their most played champions, the ones they find the most success with. And this was going to be something I was going to be kind of excited about. Would we see Sumin once again showcase us to Zed? You know, 10-14, slight buffs. It's a little bit easier to play. Maybe a situation where it could find some good success, but you see the set come online, you start to think that surely is a Parbu special. Every single time this man gets it, he's aggressive, he finds wombo combos, and the link up between himself and Get Back, there are devastating aces that tend to take place. Yeah, and that's actually a pretty key point here for the draft so far of PGG is Wombo. You've got the Misfortune, and you could raise the question of why is it existing? Well, it's with an Azir, right? And it's so easy to be Misfortune when you have an Azir whose role is basically to stand in front of you in team fights, let alone the tanks that stand in front of him. So it's very easy to sit there and be able to press your R button. Wombos is the name of the game for both teams so far. My eyes will go towards top lane champions and what they can do to complement that. So for PGG, is it going to be a set top lane? Do they go for something like a Malphite that is potentially available up there if they wanted? Hard to do blind, I will say, but they're red side, so their last pick could be whatever they want. Two protection supports moved away. As you can see there with the Morgana and the Karma, the supports that accentuate the ability to make those diving plays and be protected. Get in, get out of harm's way. As Pentanet.gg are going to go for the Rakan. Going to guarantee themselves more CC, because why not? Charms are nice. And that is, well, you'd imagine it would have been once upon a time a K-pop Zyra, but it is going to be the Zyra nonetheless. Sorry. I mean, the organization doesn't change. No. The pick doesn't change, the player does. So you've got to go for the Scion with it. So now the composition has got a full tank. You could very easily play whatever you want now on the other side of the coin. Your 4-man is pretty powerful if you're PGG. And you know, he's doing it again. It's Biopanther. He knows that his champion doesn't necessarily matter too much right now. You can go a full tank if you want, right? And I think that's valuable for the team to have a pure tank in front. You've got a Rakan for engage. You've got the set to stand in the front line with him as well. They've got a lot of team fight prowess. Now they've just got a Mundo chucked in there also. Biopanther, monster Mundo player, will be able to set up nicely. As long as the Misfortune and the set don't both fall behind, and that's easy, right? You've got two different places of the map where they just need to stay even. If nothing else, then you've got good mixed damage and they're set to team fight. How crazy was his Mundo last time they played? It was against Legacy. He got the Infernal Soul, Sunfire Cape, and 3 core items, and he literally ran you down and kind of like held your hands. He took you down to the grave. It was crazy. Always these amazing flanks that really cause so much chaos. I quite like the Zyra pick, quite honestly. The fact that it's going to lock these members in place. If Pentanet look to try and do the Wombo combo, that knock-up could be critical in resetting the state of the fight and turning things around in Gravitas' favor. Yeah, I don't dislike the Zyra pick at all. Zyra, one of those champions. A lot of mages, I actually think, are starting to become higher priority, potentially champions, right? You're going to go Rakan blind, you are going to get punished. Sure. Rakan does have kill threat on a Zyra, especially with a Misfortune as well. If they're able to hit some double ups, it does annihilate you. And Misfortune was also known, like way back now, as one of the better counters to deal with someone like a Zyra. So there are still conversations to be had against why it exists in this game. But in general, I think a Zyra pick in the right situation is incredibly potent and does do a lot of good things. We're going to get to see exactly how much value we can achieve in this game here. A bit of a blast to the past to some of these picks coming out that found favor in Split 1. We're going to be coming back to the front as we do get to see what Praetif can do on a pick that found so much success alongside the Aphelios when it first first came to prominence. We're going to get to see what they can do here today. Do they have the execution to pull off the Wombo combo? Or do Gravitas have the answer to reset the palette, turn the fight in their favor? and create a bit of an upset on the cards here today. Gravitas going to be on the left side, rocking the blue, as Pentanet.gg will be on the red side. Must-win game for them to keep themselves in with a run. But Gravitas continuing to build momentum, continuing to form an identity.
Yeah, that's it. PGG win here. They definitely put themselves towards the top 3 contention. Gravitas winning this one put themselves 1 game away from Mammoth, but still at 8th place. So that's the kind of stakes that we're looking at in this one. A stark contrast, of course, between both of them. Look at the early stages of this game as well. Mundo actually is one of the best leashing champions, just quietly. You throw a cleaver. I think your first cleaver does like 400 odd damage to a camp. Like, work that one out. It's ridiculous for leash. I don't think 400. Maybe I've over-exaggerated. It's a lot. So
we found out, Rusty, it does 400 magic damage, doesn't it?
It does magic damage. Yeah. You can build magic resistance against Mundos. It's not just the headbutt that does most of his work. But yes, you can start on the Mundo side of the map. You can get a pretty quick clear as a result of that, where you don't need your bottom lane to be involved. And any time in League of Legends, Skibby, and I can tell you this from having coached a team.
Yeah.
If your bottom lane doesn't have to leash, your bottom lane is happy. That's all that matters in a lot of games, is my bottom lane happy? So they could start in lane now, and it makes life just that little bit easier against a Zyra and an Ashe who are very annoying.
It certainly does. They've got harassment. That's what they excel at. It's going to be on Rogue to have the discipline and the understanding of this matchup to know when he can jump in and when they can find a fight that turns it in their favor. Already see Pabu with the red buff coming down for a very early shot in the bot lane. That's going to be the flash straight away from Beast, but he's going to get locked on down with the bullets, making it rain as he comes on quick, gives him a kiss, gets kicked away, and says, that's first blood. Have that one there, Praetor, as Puma looks to try and find a trade around, but denied vision. That's going to be the first blood for Pentanet.
Yeah, Puma only level 1, so he's not going to have the damage to actually take down Praedyth or Rogue. Nice distribution of the kills there as well, making sure that Praedyth is the recipient. You can see the CS difference that existed between these 80 carries until that kill came across. And no Bass this time around. I think it's safe to say they hit their flash with the set, they hit their face breaker as well. They're able to net themselves an easy first blood. You're looking at the punish that's available from someone like the Trundle. Well, it's not going to be as simple as last time around. Probably very quickly to get back to his jungle. However, Praelis is on the move and is going to try and make the punish happen.
He certainly is. Old friends collide. They meet up in the jungle. He says hello. The Rogue's got his number and he's got his back. The smite goes across. Praelis picks it up. Now he's in a spot above it. Doesn't have subjugate. It is going to fall on down. Pabu says hello. And takes him down. Get back on the flank right now. Suman sitting in mid. This is going to be a numbers mismatch. Get back, gets a kill. This is a man that has the highest amount of solo kills in the league so far. And there's no slouch when it comes to grouping up with the team as well.
That's the thing. You know, Praelis, you can't fault his decision to try and take the 1v1 knowing he had a lead. But you do have to fault the fact that 4 people from PGG will get there first. So he doesn't have the first rotate from any of his teammates. Hex flash in from Pabu as well.
Forget the camps. This is classic Pabu jungling. Just gank after gank, making sure that his old team know exactly what's up.
Yeah, champs, not camps. Definitely one of my favorite ways to play the jungle role. I'm glad to see someone in a competitive game doing the same thing. Now just going to be able to go to his wolves. He can choose to reset if he wants now, if he's not worried about his jungle being threatened on the top side. Or he could just continue to try and full clear. And should be able to get away with that one. So don't expect to see too much activity from the jungler of PGG now. Let him get his items and shops in first. But that's a big team diff moment, right? Like, Pabu plays for his lanes. His lanes play for him faster than that of his opponents, and everyone is happy.
I just can't wait for those moments. I mean, everyone except Gravitas, absolutely. I just can't wait for those moments of pure madness where Pabu jumps in 1v5 on 10%. It looks like the biggest int, and then Getback says, watch this, and cleans it up in typical fashion for them. See if we can get to a stage of that game. Exactly. Back-to-back pentas, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, we had 2 penta kills in 2 games.
Yeah, it was a crazy week, that one. What do we have, like a 10-minute pause into a resume? Pentakill game
literally into like a 1-minute game. With a penta and wrap it up, call it a night.
It was a weird situation. That's the Kassadin dream there, as everyone in chat was spamming. Nearly level 16.
You know, there was a game in the LPL in 2018, Skibby, where we were casting, and there was a big pause, right?
Yes.
And we were stuck for a while. And we throw back to casters, and as we throw back, literally the Nexus is being last hit. So you load back and you're like, all right, let's get back into it. Oh my god.
It's such a crazy moment as a play-by-play cast because you're like, yeah. And it's done. Regardless, we're going to see what happens here. As it will be, once again, Praelis showing his face in the river. It will be Gravitas with all the harassment and all the poke, bullying out Pentanet and going to this dragon first. And this is the first dragon of the game. It's an Ocean one at that. And then they've just done enough sticking damage to prevent Pentanet collapsing. And we'll get the ball rolling.
Yeah, bottom lane was there early. Mid lane also having that first move available as well. Get back not going to be there as fast as he would like, but that's because he is getting himself a shot in back in base. Nice little take there from Gravitas to ensure they get the Drake. Nice little take of just some extra control around the map, and that's the thing. So Pabu's done a lot of good work for his team, and we already mentioned this, his team's done a lot of good work for him, but he's still 20-odd CS behind in the jungle role. He's by no means winning in the jungle 1v1 as a result of all of his map movements. And so when something gets isolated, perhaps, Praelis is able to continue to just find 1v1s and look for camp advantages, he does still get further ahead.
Very terrifying, isn't it, when you see a Trundle ahead? Quite difficult to try and take them down, especially when the ultimate's running as well. We'll see what Pabu can do to try and even out those odds, if he can look to try and bridge the gap through more assists and action on the map to buff up the rest of his team. Tends to be the staple of a Pentanet playstyle that we see the most success with when they get their bot lane ahead and Praetor becomes an absolute turret that you just can't deal with.
It's very easy for him to be a turret in this game as well, right? When you're looking at that draft, everything can stand in front of Praetor. Has himself the cleanse on top of everything else. So in a pretty comfortable position to play the composition out the way that they would like. Get back also going to be a big scaling option for the team of PGG. And if there's any jungler you want to be behind, usually it would be a Set or something of the likes. Just powerhouse base stats type champion. Not going to be an Olaf that presses R, runs in and just instantly dies or anything.
So I'm interested to see how they try and accrue a lead, because obviously Pentanet got ahead with their bot lane, much in part to that very nice level 2 gank. But the amount of poke and harassment that both Puma and Beats have, you'd want to see them sort of bridge that gap and turn things around. The all-in collapse at level 6. They can try and dart around and interrupt the likes of a bullet time. They're definitely still work in their favour. Say ease of execution. Still favour them as well.
And they've flipped the map here with control wards and sweepers on their AD carry PGG. Praetor sweeps his way through from the looks of it there as well. They have absolute control over this top side of the river. They make life almost impossible for someone like Gravitas to get there. Very well played from them. Secure the free objective. The choice of where they want to place it is, of course, entirely up to them. They don't need to go in top lane. They're a bit behind in experience right now, so they might want to buy just a little bit more time in top. Get Rogue 6. Have a lot more threat as mid.
Okay.
That was odd.
That was. Shockwave goes out, does hit too. Praelis rocks up, and that's the proof in the pudding there. As you can see, there is a level disparity between the two. Out comes the bullet time. That clears the attempts of Puma and Beats to crash that wave in and force fights, as well as poke underneath their own turret. No harm, no foul. But hang on. Oh, that's beautiful. Flashes forward, forces Pabu to do just the same. He had the empowered recall there with the Herald, but still wasn't enough.
Made me wonder if Praelis had his pillar available. As he just flash chomped instead of using the pillar to cancel the recall. And of course the pillar having the slow means that you should just be able to chase someone down after that, maybe even force the flash first. But that wasn't used. He actually flash chomps and ults himself. So it was actually just a summoner spell trade in the end. And Pabu actually has the Hex Splash. So the jury's out for who won that little skirmish, considering how bad it looked for Pabu.
Quite interesting, actually, to see what it actually means in the grand scheme of things. Because we've got another minute until this next dragon is up, and it is Pentanet being proactive on the map by setting their bot lane once again towards the bottom side of this map to answer and match nobody. Ensure that they're always one step ahead of the game.
Nobody taking 0 damage now. We've prayed with Wales on him just a little bit, but you know, Caulfield's Warhammer and Berserker Grease aren't tank killing items. That much is for certain. We're also looking at the Cyanol bot lane.
He's looking for it. Can he find that key target? Flash is going to be used there. That's a big cooldown burnt by the Misfortune. much easier for the Rakan to dash out of harm's way there. But that's pressure shown bot sides. Now we get to see what does this actually mean for Gravitas in the grand scheme of things. They've already got a dragon to their name. Can they guarantee a second? Can that be a win condition they can look to try and play around?
Yeah, that's exactly what we have to look at. Oh, mid again.
It is indeed the focus. He's burnt the heal, he's burnt the shockwave, and he's burnt his life bar, literally and figuratively, as Mudo rocks up in the area, swirling around like a Beyblade, looking so damn clean. He's going to soak up a storm as he receives the brunt of that damage. The arrow comes and out. He will fall on down, but has he done enough to protect the rest of his team? That's the second kill now. Sign getting rowdy. He takes out the Rakan. Get back looking to do whatever he can. The Sand Soldier's coming out thick and fast like a day down at the beach. No fun for him as he's low. And the rest of Gravitas have full control of the bot lane river.
Yeah, and I think this will be enough for them to just net a second Drake, and things actually starting to go the way of Gravitas. Just a bit disjointed here and split across the map in PGG when they're looking for these trades. Babu, very core, no flash.
Yeah, going to blindly face check that one. Going to use the Haymaker. Expires with all that grip. Falls on down. Smite comes out and it connects. Will bullet time be good enough? That's aggressive from Puma. Says, what are you doing? Get back. Flashes forward. For the Sand Soldiers. Be enough they will be. He flashes out before one final auto attack can connect. This is pure chaos. No team wants to sacrifice this dragon. So many members are low at this stage of the game, and Pentanet have done just enough to bully them off.
It was good for Gravitas until it wasn't good for Gravitas and started to go the way of PGG. Drake going to be started here. Pabu gets himself back from base and is going to be able to get here in time to have Smite for this camp. Rogue not at any risk of dying because he has the heals there. Rogue at risk of dying because Pabu stops attempting to take it. They'll get the Drake. They'll summon the Herald. Get back also teleports bot lane for this Rift Herald charge. So they are big braining their way through this one. Teleport's going to be late.
Oh,
but no Smite for Pabu. So they just get the Drake. What an experience that we're all on.
It surely was, you know. Put on your 3D goggles and strap on in. This is a virtual reality session. It's just carnage.
This game's just, imagine not resetting that Drake. That could have just been a free Drake on top of everything else, but it resets and it's just madness.
You were thinking, there's Pentanet in such a great position now. They summon their Herald, they bring in Get Back to push that lead further. They're going to get a Dragon, they're going to make this gold lead huge in their favor. And Prayless, as you may have had me at the start of this game, but I'm going to give you a run for your money.
If this gets any more chaotic, we are 100% getting our clown noses out. So far, it's just been an interesting series of trades. Like through chaos, it's very easy to fault teams and say, what was that? Or like, what are they thinking? But there has been actual chaos. There's been a lot of attempts on like single picks, which has resulted in a lot of map movement from the entire team. And then through those movements, you know, a lot of people have been picked out here and there, but very unusual game.
It has been. Not enough to really separate these two teams as we get close to the 15-minute mark. The story continues to be with Prayless ahead.
Epic battle in bot lane right now between these tanks who have Grasp and just want to get procs of Grasp off. Bio close to 11 though. Has the experience lead down this bot lane. I think one more wave of solo experience would actually tick him over to level 11. Not that he wants that. They're going to group up for topside Rift Herald presumably. As he's now a mid laner.
Despite the current state of things, it still is Pentanet that are the ones forcing things to happen on the map. Always the first to an objective, always the first to a lane to try and force the response out of their opposition. You can see in the way they are posturing defensively, waiting for numbers to show up here in quick responses. They'll be on the hunt right now. That's a shockwave looking to try and shake them into the bullet time. They're going to get locked in place, suplexed into that bullet time. Sumon's low, brings them together, says hello. Throws them a bro fist, but takes them down eventually. It's going to be a 1-for-1 between both the AD carries. And Prayless says, please, Rogue, give me anything. I need something. Prayless lives. Subjugate OP. And despite Pentanet always being the first to the fight, it's Gravitas that take the wins.
Yeah, Gravitas just stand and deliver. It was an engage from Rogue onto a single tanky member of GRV, and they're just not going to fall. They're just going to stand strong. And, you know, big follow-up attempts here from PGG. Pabu trying to ult people back into Misfortune ultimates as well, but not enough damage, not enough cohesive front-to-back style team fights. The one person who I didn't really get to see was Get Back, so I'm just going to keep my eyes on the Azir through this as well. He just looks for an engage and actually stands himself into the face of a Scion ultimate, so definitely does feel like he needs to go down. Pub also flashes in to try and get a kill, but Trundle passive, Triumph procs, very difficult to actually lock down a Trundle when kills are starting to fall left, right, and center. And they just throw themselves to the wolves, PGG.
I think that's one of the most exciting things about this team, given their current state. They are very much willing to throw anything at these matches. Always a scary thought when there's a team that has nothing to lose at this stage of the game. Their chances of hitting playoffs are not a possibility now, but they can definitely upset the balance as to what teams will have their run still to play for.
That fight took place just before Mundo hit level 11, I believe, as well. And, you know, I think slowing the game down isn't the worst idea when you're close to big spikes like that. Misfortune doesn't have a single item yet. No complete items, I should say. Has a lot of components still and just the Berserker Greaves there. Blade of the Ruined King currently done for Puma as well. So if ever there was a moment to start to really look at the game state and say we're feeling confident, it would be about now. For GRV, definitely. There's a Shockwave. That's probably just not the way to do it. Skibby?
Yeah, certainly not. And that is the mentality, the mindset of an assassin player. I see cooldown, I see target, I go for kill. Spoken obviously in the words of the Dr. Mundo. As he looks to run you on down. And he's getting closer and closer to that point, as you say, level 11 online. And he'll be looking to now bridge the gap by getting himself the Spirit Visage to try and negate a ton of this magic damage that Gravitas possess as they look to break open this base. They get the first turret, they take it in bot lane. That's going to make life just a little bit easier to guarantee this third dragon up at 15.
Yeah, looking towards this next objective 100%. If they are able to get themselves at Soul Point, then they get a really meaningful win condition here as well. We've highlighted the fact that PGG scaled decently, particularly once they get their 2 to 3 item spikes, their team fighting will become fantastic. But right now, they're setting up vision control on the other side of the map. Just don't worry about the reconnect sign. There's humans in here, good to go. You can see him moving around. Drake's going to be started. No contest. So we are going to be at Soul Point, and that's with a 2,000 gold lead for Gravitas.
Certainly is. They've slowed down the tempo. And whilst it's not them necessarily being the ones in the driving seat, they've got the composure, they've got the ability to shut down the attempts that Pentana are throwing their way. There's the arrow once again. That's an instant response with a flash. Nobody says, I want this kill. He's going to charge on forward aggressively. Takes 0 damage anyway, so he can take down that turret. That is, as you say, Gravitas now sitting on a Soul Point condition.
And it makes you wonder what it is Gravitas are actually going to do to get back into this one now that they've started to lose so much control over the map. Sorry, I'm talking to Sybil as I'm speaking.
A man of many talents.
I realized I made a mistake. I misread it. It is the second cast. Yeah, what exactly is it that they can do? I do think that this is one of those moments where I want to say like you pull a legacy, right? Where you just want to play the lanes, try and really split the map apart. Don't give Gravitas anything massive. And just try and continue to farm, because their scaling is fine. And as long as the gold doesn't shift too much from now, they're able to maybe get an extra BS sword or, you know, something going their way. Look for picks here and there by playing the map. I think that's one of the better ways that a top of the table team can attack a bottom of the table team. If that doesn't happen in the next 5 minutes and it's just casual farming, of course the risks do go up, Skimmy. 3 minutes, they have to answer the call. But for now, I wouldn't force anything that shouldn't be forced and just try and bring Gravitas to places they don't want to be.
Scary times in this game as we hit the 20-minute mark. And you've got a very strong top side of the draft here for Gravitas that can run you down. Can do pretty much anything they want. Pentana are still buying time to see how they can respond in this sort of fashion. Praetor will have that Essence Reaver online now, as we'll get back with the Nashers too. So a bit of CDR to help them out to rotate through those cooldowns, which is what we tend to see. As you mentioned during the draft, a comp that looks to group everybody up together and find maximum value with the Wombo combo. That's the delicacy of it. But when you have a Scion and Trundle running at you, quite hard to get maximum uptime with it.
Welcome back, get back. He's finally feeling himself. Got some angry bees. It's a good sign, actually. coming out of the mid laner of PGG. 2-1-2. Again, not having the worst game of his life. That much is for certain. It's still not enough currently. And if you think about the state of this game, you know, PGG actually had their early advantages. They had a lot of strong early moves. And they made a couple of mistakes here and there. And those punishes were huge because the mistakes were at objectives. And that happened a couple of times. And that's why we're at the state that we're at now. And I think from the lead that Gravitas have, if they set up for an objective first, I really do worry for PGG's chances of contesting that one. Walking into a Zyra, walking into an Orianna Shockwave, Trundle Pillar kicks that one off as well. Let alone the Scion using his Scream and running across the river area if that's where it was to happen. I think that's them poised to succeed. PGG probably, like mentioned, want to play the map and avoid that right now.
I think that's the exciting thing, right? Because those were the the tech pickups that swing the draft in Gravitas' favor to try and disrupt the wombo combo nature. Obviously, the scoreline doesn't represent their true power, what they're really designed to achieve at this stage. A lot of that has been through fights going against them in the solo lane matchups. But when it comes to the grouping, as we can now see, it's becoming more and more apparent. Up in 90 seconds, looking to contest a Mountain Soul. Already got these two bruises that are so far ahead. You give them that. I don't see a world in which you can try and take them down.
2 items complete here for the AD carry of Gravitas. 2 items for the top laner here as well of Nobody with his Spirit Visage, as well as his Sunfire. And it's actually matched by Biopanther, so both top laners are going to be pretty big. Mid laners close to their second items, that much is for certain, but they're not going to have them for this fight. So for me, it's top laners and AD carries. You know, there's a notable difference between AD strengths unless Praetor's able to sneak a recall in right now after this Wolf Camp. And that could be a really big difference maker.
Interesting fun fact there, Rusty. This is the first time that Gravitas have found themselves in a situation where they've got themselves the first 3 turrets.
Yeah.
The lowest percentage in the entire league. Only about 10% of the time are they in that situation.
Is this Nobody's first 3 kills in the past 2 weeks as well?
It's looking good for him. It certainly is. This is a reinvigorated roster. Bringing the pain to a team that are chasing playoffs. 10 seconds and we've got a soul point to play for. Penta are in the river itself. They've got Rogue on the flank looking to land a big charm that prevents the turn around. Scion, arrow, straight onto Praetor's head. The cleanse comes out too little too late. The chomp, the pillar, the definite delete. He's gone. Charm takes out Rogue. He can't do much there. Big shockwave from Summit. He falls down to the grave, but is it enough? Mundo is a madman. Look at him go. He's got a double kill. He says, I'll put our team on our back, and if you just give me a little bit of CC, I will run them down. Forget the dragon. There's no smite. Because
just
where is this Trundle? What can he do? How come the plants?
Don't worry about it, Rogue. Bio's got it covered.
That is absolute madness.
Away from his Drake. Brayless, what are you doing?
Brayless is just going to fall on down. He doesn't have Subjugate. He can't do much.
Who's
That's typical for the madman. There's a reason Biopemper picks champions like this.
He's just running them down.
He innovates, he creates plays, and he burns you on down. It's a battle of the bruises. He's forcing the flash away. The dragon kills him. The dragon kills him.
I hope he just got flash up because that was a mega hit flash. Bio's turned to run away from the Scion.
What on earth was that, Rusty?
I can't believe that flash is just the icing on cake. Get your clown noses out, everyone. Biopanther's a man on a mission. And let's watch it again. I hope we watch the whole thing. This Ash Arrow is illegal. Pentanet.gg literally split the gates. And they say, you know what, you can have a Scion and an Ash Arrow. Praetor, because we don't value your life. And from this point, massive play from Pabu and Get Back actually to do a lot of damage and still make sure they trade. Beats does also die to the Drake. And from this point, I mean, Prayless actually just does circles. He places a pillar, he does circles, and then he leaves. And you're like, okay, they've lost. We'll concede the Drake. Not a problem. But nobody's really stuck in it having a biff. Prayless decides, well, good idea, I'll come back and secure the Drake. Mistake. big mistake. He gives Biopanther 700 gold because he needed more money. Skibby, he needed more of it. And then eventually nobody with the flash to end all flashes.
Yeah, we don't want to see that flash again.
Just goes and does that.
What a crazy fight, because Gravitas had laid their CC so beautifully just to take Praetor out of the fight straight away. Without any healing cut. Mundo said, "Did you forget me?" Now soon to be level 16, the ultimate becomes even scarier. And a Fawn Mail, because he got so much money to his name based on that successful fight. Yeah, he says, you think Sion's unkillable? Watch this.
I can't believe that at the start of a team fight, a Sion ultimate, which is very telegraphed, on the same trajectory as an Ash Arrow, both connect with the AD carry of PGG. Like, that is still amazing to me. We've just started the Baron. Teleports are coming in as well. Biopanther's fresh off a reset. He'll have the teleport. Will they even... Are they committing?
Surely not. Surely... Oh, damn, here comes the Mad Lad himself. He TP's in with the movement speed to say, "Get off my Baron." Mortal Reminder is now there, Rusty, for the Ash. Can do work here to try and keep him in check.
Priority. I wondered if they would actually push for that one because the flank was coming out. Arrow just misses.
That was far too close. Very close, was it indeed? That's a 4-man slap! Look how much damage that did! That's the wombo combo Pence they've been waiting for all game long! The Emperor's Divide doesn't find its target, but Biopanther literally avoids everything. He's 1v3 between two turrets as Rogue join me. Rogue says, "I can't take this damage." The ultimate's running, but his health bar is not falling. And that is just the power of Mundo once again on full display.
Well, Biopanther is absolutely unkillable, and Gravitas just got completely owned by a set ultimate. That was huge. That was so big from Pabu. Now Baron is all but gone already. They're going to try and get into the area, but I think it's just far too late.
Late game has blessed Pentanet with a turn of fate. 27 minutes into this one, and they now find themselves in the lead with a 3k gold lead. In a fight that poised so much potential. That was the AoE health bar explosions, what a set provides in this team comp. A pick that Pabu continues to find success on. And one that was also decisive in ensuring that the bullet time, as well as the Mundo, get in, get out, and win.
Just so everyone understands what really happened there as well. The damage of a set ultimate is 50% of the target's bonus health. Sion is a champion that gets bonus health with every minion that he last hits as well. So just let that really sink in. The amount of bonus health that Sion has is somewhere well in the thousands. And so all Set has to do is alter Sion into the team, and he one-hits carry.
Oh, this adds a different narrative to the game now. What can Gravitas do to try and turn things around to put them back in the driving seat? They used the shockwave, they used the knock-up from the Zyro as well. It just wasn't enough. You can't stop these guys running at you.
Drake in 20 seconds with an early teleport from Get Back as well to make sure that they have the bot lane priority. They don't have mid lane. If you were Gravitas, you could actually concede the Mountain Drake and look for a mid lane inner turret if you wanted. I don't think the highest priority aspect of this game is that you need a Mountain Soul. You actually have a lot of time. In saying that, not sure I'm comfortable giving over more Mountain Drakes to a Mundo. We'll see how they choose to play this one, though. They already break the mid lane turret. Drake is still going to be up and available, so maybe best of both worlds if Kralis is on the money.
Kralis has flash, he has cleanse. He has been a focus for the double CC chain, but if he can find it again, there it is! Sion, what are you doing? Gets taken into the backline and just grants him in a swift finger, just a triple kill just like that. Angry BMOs, eat your heart out. A second Mountain Dragon to the Pentanet name. And with respawn time has been 30 seconds and higher, there's just not much they can do.
I mean, every single time a fight breaks out, and if, again, when you're an objective, we're in a narrow area. And this is still, like, I want to credit Pabu because he is pulling the trigger, and it is very good, but he is also being set up brilliantly by the positioning of the team of Gravitas, right? You've got both carries standing directly behind a Scion, and all Pabu needs to do is press R. And then suddenly he does literally 1,500 damage to both carries. But you take those if you're PGG, right? Now they've got the Baron, they get another Mountain Soul into their back pockets, and it's as simple as one man just pressing one ultimate, and they literally one-hit carries.
It's what you wanted to see from the draft, and it is what we are seeing on full display here today. The game is slowly going out of their control right now, and well, that's Prey Defense Flash. You can't do much about that one. Goes for the scuttle. But they were on the hunt. Very nimble, obviously, with the movement speed that an Orianna can provide.
16, by the way, is Prey just quietly achieving a lot of solo lane experience. And we jokingly said this before after a Drake fight, that the side of PGG may have forgotten they had an 80 carry in this one. He has still quietly been overachieving. You know, 300 CS at 30 minutes, 3 complete items, 3.5 now, and a stopwatch to boot. He's still going to be strong. And he's got a hell of a front line to stand behind, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly does. Full items soon to be completed here on the Mundo. Soon to be level 18, the highest in the game as well. The Innovator delivers once more.
Also guarantee that Biopanther knows the names of all 4 abilities of Mundo spells. One of those weird, uncanny abilities that Bio has. Most people just know QWER and what they do. You know, they might know the relative damage of it here and there. He just seems to know everything. Big brain player, Biopanther.
Certainly is. Certainly is. A few players like that in this league that can showcase they can do a few different things, keep their opponents guessing, and not conform it to the meta as a whole. Always exciting as a viewer, but I'm sure it's never fun as an opponent to go into. Now, 2v1. Laterun King is there. And China actually gets flashed out of. His senses to know that was coming. Beautiful.
Yeah, nice flash. He was actually at a risk of dying. You do have the Blade of the Ruin King there as well as the Lord Doms from Puma. So respects it, flashes his way out, also uses that ultimate. Does mean that they'll lose all control of the top side of the map here as they'll take a top lane in a turret. They still have some wards down though. They do still have vision control, so that makes me feel like PGG forced that extra turret drop. They're going to have to reset and try and get some wards down. So they have a minute, under a minute rather, 30 seconds till the Baron spawns. You would expect they would have full control of this area, so maybe just awkward reset timing.
Pentanet farming unbelievably well at this stage of the game. Major leads found in every single area except for the jungle role, but that hasn't been the focus here for Pabu. His job has been complete. Gather assists, buff up his boys, get them in a spot like this, and they are certainly delivering. He's the utility man that has the plan. He guarantees these ultimates to make the rest of his team look so damn flashy and so clean in these 5v5 fights. And now with the Baron spawning, that's exactly where Pentanet are.
You cannot play front-to-back close quarters if you're Gravitas. You have to be either a little bit more spread out, or you have to actually situate your Scion onto more of a flank. You want to get through these fights. Baron's just gone.
It's gone. They can't do much about that one. Rogue looking for the charm. Beats in trouble. Beats is gone. There's the shockwaves. No turnaround. There's the knock-up on the Zyra. They have so many shields. Emperor's the Vines. Get back. Stop it. What was that? That's going to be the ace. As there is a nobody dream left alive. Beating apart the Parade of Carry. But he can pop the stopwatch and watch the Scion clone expire. That's the final nail in the coffin to take him on down. 34 minutes in, a Baron buff, a team fight, a flawless win. Now a game-winning end.
Yeah, Get Back goes off twice. Pabu goes off as well in these team fights. That's the real difference maker here, Skibby. When it came to the crunch in the later game team fights, PGG were too good.
A big win there for Pentanet.gg. They continue to be tied with the Direwolves and the Chiefs and continue the three-way tie in third spot.
Yeah, and we do find ourselves with the expected result, though I wouldn't say that was the most expected game, Skivvy. That was a little bit more chaotic than you would have otherwise thought.
Yep.
But Prayless, once again, goes up against Pabu, tries to win the jungle position, and unfortunately for him, the rest of PGG were there a bit too quick.
They certainly were. Mundo once again comes to life, but the Scion continues to find so much presence. The most played, I believe, this week alone, showcasing is a new pick that these bruisers, these top laners are loving. And, you know, Spawn obviously having Swiper on your team that plays it so much, 100% win rate on it. I think some of these players in the league have been inspired by him.
Yeah, it's actually funny though. Like not to throw too much shade, but Dos and I were
It's your turn
joking.
to be muted.
Am I? What? I'm not muted.
Feels good.
You're muted in Discord.
I'm muted Discord, not on the stream. That's where I'm muted. I was gonna say what I said to the stream, but not to you peasants who don't deserve to listen to me. Was Dos and I were actually joking that everyone in the OPL needs to reapply for their Scion license. No one has a right to play Scion apart from Swiper after that game because he just didn't farm. I think Rusty hit on it during the cast, but one of the most important parts of Scion's kit is you genuinely get free stats for killing minions. So you have to kill the minions, otherwise you don't get the free stats. I think he was something like 190 CS or something at 30 minutes. Like, that's just... These top laners... I said it the game before as well with Chippies and Thean. Top laners need to whack creeps more. BioPanther's got the right idea. Show up to fights a level ahead of an 80 carry and see if they can actually live when you're tanking all their damage.
Spawn, if you could describe today's League of Legends in one word, what would it be?
Messy. Really, really messy. I actually... across all 4 games, I'm going to put the order game in there as well. I don't think there was actually a clean closeout from any of the teams. Legacy slowed down to a snail's pace to have to close out their game. Chiefs versus Direwolves was just a brawl. This game was just an outright brawl, whereas Scion was doing more damage to it. Like, he was doing more harm than good at certain points. I think it's fair to say. I think that was a really, really messy day of League of Legends. Teams, obviously the nerves of the latter half of the season are kicking in because teams obviously really want to make playoffs, and it's showing in their play right now.
And Rusty, you obviously have both player and coach background. If those nerves are starting to kick in here, what do you do to be able to put yourself back on track? How do you start playing clean again?
I mean, you just need direction, right? If you're playing messy and you know what it is you need to improve, then you start taking steps and focusing on those steps. Because, you can't always clean messiness up in a single day, or like you may not come in tomorrow and be instantly better. But I think that's the point, right? Because Legacy, they won, which is a step, right? And now they need to clean up the slow pace again, slowly pick it back up to their normal pace, and then they get back. And, every team does it their own way for their own needs.
All right, well, if you want to stick around for some real League of Legends, make sure to stick around for the MPL, which is coming up after we close out the OPL, because that is the final professional game for today. Obviously, we'll be back tomorrow. Let's take a look at the results from today's games, because as Spawn said, we did have a messy day, but often, I would say pretty much the 2 things that are consistent. 1, the teams that we expect to win did win, and 2, the left-hand side of the scoreboard really won out. In this case, Order versus Mammoth. Order take out game number 1. Legacy dominate Avant for game 2. Chiefs taking down the Direwolves in a bloodbath for game 3. And then PGG, although Gravitas putting up a fight there in game 4, managed to take home the victory there for them. A look at the schedule for tomorrow, where these teams will have a bit of time to recuperate, get their bearings, and start us off with a banger. Chiefs versus Legacy for game number 1. Order taking on the rebranded Direwolves for game 2. Avant versus PUG for game 3. And then it's Gravitas and Mammoth rounding out the evening. I mean, we're basically just running down the scoreboard at this point. This is a big day for a lot of teams, Skinny.
It certainly is. I mean, those first 2 games especially, a big form check for these 2. Both Chiefs and Legacy. They've had their win, they've had their warm-up here day 1, day 2 coming in, clashing heads once again. And it could be a weekend that looks to try and disrupt these tieways, where we're seeing multiple teams locked in at 2nd, 3rd and onwards.
And Nick, we've had 13 days of League of Legends, right? 10 of them have had at least 3 wins on the left side.
What is going on with this
How
scoreboard?
crazy is that? And it's not like blue versus red side either. It's just the left side.
What is going on with the left side?
Do you want a fun fact before we close out this stream? Just to highlight my point of how messy these games have been.
Is it about unicorns?
No, it isn't. But Legacy are 4 minutes slower, 4 whole minutes slower in game time than they were split 1. Chiefs are 2 minutes slower than what they have been in game time. Direwolves are 2 minutes slower. Order is the only team that has quicker game time in the summer split than what they did in the spring split. So the top 4 teams are slowing down. That means that this league is getting much more compact than what people would realize. To be 4 minutes slower across your wins is a huge amount of game time. The difference between a 30-minute victory and nearly a 35-minute victory is kind of the difference that we're seeing out of Legacy right now from split number 1. Split 1, they were smashing everyone.
Yeah. So what accounts for Order's rise in pace?
I think Order have genuinely got better. Like, I mean, obviously I am more biased than other people in here, so like I'll call my biases out immediately. But I would say like Order were genuinely 4th or 5th best team for a lot of split number 1, whereas right now I think that they're playing like a top 3 team. I think Order have got improved since split 1.
All right, well, there you go. Well, hopefully you can make it back tomorrow for Saturday's round of games. We are very excited to have you. We're excited to have EPOS, Macca's, and Neosurf on board. And a very quick reminder, EPOS, with their Out of This World gaming audio campaign, where they're giving away 2 headsets to 2 lucky winners. And obviously we have Neosurf as well, who want to give away $500 worth of Neosurf voucher credit and to a first place winner, and $100 to 4 runners-ups. Both of the competitions I have talked about extensively on this broadcast, and you can check out all of the OPL socials for more details there, and head to watch.lollysports.com for full terms and conditions. All right, gentlemen, I believe that rounds us out for this evening for the professional league. It's time to jump into the amateur league. It is time for the MPL. So we would love it if you guys stuck around as well. Spawn, Rusty, Skimmy, thank you very much for today. What are we doing? What do you want to do? Rusty, last time you just announced what we were going to do and it happened. So what do you want to do?
TFT again.
TFT, it is. Congratulations, everyone. So, I mean, that is a big congratulations to everyone, because that means we need 4 spots filled. So we would love to see 4 of you jumping in to my League of Legends friend list. If you're not already there, just Nick Boy on the League client, and we will see you in a minute for the MPL. Switchbase says, love the cardigan. Nicholas Boy, thank you very much, Switch.
Nicholas Boy.
Hope to see you in-game in a second. On behalf of the crew and on behalf of the casters, thank you very much for watching. We hope to see you again tomorrow. We're out.
Today is the Neosurf Cup, and we're going to be playing against Misfits, so hopefully we can bring home the win.
Neosurf is simple, safe and secure. You can go to your local shop and get a voucher code and use it online, preferably to buy League of Legends skins.
He's got it! This is deadly! He's got it!
If you're craving the taste of your favourites, head to Macca's for a fast, safe and contactless drive-through experience. For your Macca's run, contact-free, we'll be here.
Target inside. them.